Back out at the Logan County Fairgrounds for the Railsplitter Festival this weekend, Cameron Kurtz and Josh Komnick. And as always, we are joined by Lincoln Community High School head football coach, Mr. Jared Shaner. I'm going to turn things over to Josh now.
Yeah, real quick before we get into last night's game, I want to give a shout out to LC's Kyle Turpin, Lincoln College's Player of the Year last year, and they, of course, the Division II National Champion Lynx. He has signed a letter to Florida State, so the big 6'11" will be sophomore, averages 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 blocks a game last year. He has signed a letter of intent to Florida State. He, of course, Illinois was looking at him. I know University of Southern Cal was wanting his services, but he has decided to go to the Seminoles and Florida State. So congratulations to, of course, Kyle Turpin and the Lynx basketball team out there. But Coach, getting into the game last night, just talked to you right while we were at the commercial break, and you say, wow, just frustrating. Lincoln loses 34-27 last night in a game that maybe you thought had in hand in the third quarter, up 20-14, and it just seemed like Lanphier just hit you with about 3 touchdowns in about 7 minutes, and the Railers fought back. We got back within 8 points and just couldn't convert on the end, but frustrating in all.
Oh, sure. Up at halftime, get the ball, going to receive the ball, and Lanphier was a team last night coming in that was 0-3, and we spent the majority of halftime talking about how important the first drive was. And we got, I think, 2 first downs on our first third quarter drive. We're moving the ball, and then had a fumble. And talking to the kids this morning, I said, the key point to the game was, our second half started fumble, turnover on downs, interception. So we went 4 straight possessions without doing anything with the football. And I felt like, a team that's down like Lanphier,
right.
If you can go up 2 or 3 scores on somebody like that, a lot of the times they're gonna fold it up, and you can just kind of play the clock from that point. But to their credit, they came back and scored a couple. And
yeah, you're right. We've talked about this, first part of this year and quite a bit last year as far as the turnovers. Like you said, you get a touchdown there for early in the third quarter, and Lanphier just may say it's done. We're 0-3.
Yep.
We're down 14. Let's do what we have to do and get back to Springfield. But you come back to haunt you, the turnovers, the fumbles. There might have been an interception in there and that kind of thing. And it not only does it kill the Railers, it kills college football teams, pro football teams. It's everywhere.
Absolutely.
Basketball teams, you can't turn the ball over and expect to win.
Yep. Well, and comment I made last night, especially, we're the least athletic team that we're going to play. The other schools from Springfield are going to have better athletes than us. And when that's the case, you really, then you're really making that mountain bigger,
right.
Harder to climb if you're giving them more opportunities than what they should have with the football. So. And
you talk about those athletes, of course, Clemens. I believe he's the son of former Illini Rennie Clemens. Yep. Everett Clemens rushed for 24 rushes, 152 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and he was the man in that third quarter that really broke it open for the Lions. And talk a little bit about what he did in that third quarter that, of course, kind of sealed the game.
Sure, he's a very good running back. We focused on him all week in practice, and I would say other than I believe he had a 48 or a 52-yard run, and then one other little bit longer one. When you take those away and he rushed 20 times for 80 yards, we're pretty happy with that.
Right.
But the thing we talked about all week, and it happened last night, they ran a little sweep play to the left with him. We defended it at the point of attack really well. He changed directions, cut back across the field, and before you know it, 5 seconds later, it's a 50-yard touchdown run. And he's got some tremendous speed and athletic ability, and that was a big play of the game.
Really, he was the man in the third quarter, but up until then, it really didn't look like he was. Your defense was holding him, and you were holding the quarterback. He's an excellent scrambler, also a passer. He didn't hardly have any passing yards last night. So the defense in the first half, up until really when Everett Clemens went crazy, really did real well.
Yeah, the defense played better, and that's part of the frustrating part too. Is you got to put a complete game together: offense,
right.
defense, special teams, and last night, as I said, the offense went 4 series in a row, which I don't think we've done yet this year without scoring. The defense played better in the first half, and then really in the second half, we gave up the interception return. And gave them the ball on the 2-yard line. Pretty tough to keep a good team out from 2 yards out. So,
sure. Well, you're right, and then we get down. I believe we're down just 8 late in the fourth, and you decide to go for the onside kick, which you pretty much had to do at that point. And one thing you don't see a lot, not only in college or pro or anything, is the team that's onside and actually recovers it. And you did. Have you been able to practice that play? Have you practiced it much in order to get ready for that type of situation?
We practiced that every day this week. Coming in, I just felt like it was going to be a close game one way or the other. We felt like maybe watching some film on them earlier in the year, we felt like we might be able to do it at the beginning of the game depending on how they lined up, and they adjusted from what they'd done in the last couple weeks. So I didn't know obviously it was going to come down to the end of the game like that, but I thought at some point we could use it. We spent way more time this week than we have in the past on our onside kick recovery. The kids executed it really well.
Paid off.
Absolutely. And they executed it well. We got the ball back. I think we had a first down on a pass interference. We got down to the 27 or 28 yard line. Took a couple shots at the end zone and just couldn't connect.
Well, you're right, Coach. And then that was you got the ball back on the onside and really just couldn't get anything going there late. And the Railers fall 34-27. Lincoln falls to 1-3 overall, 0-3 in the Central State 8. Lanphier gets their first victory, 1-3 overall, 1-3 in the Central State 8. And Everett Clemens, of course, rushes for 152 yards and 3 touchdowns. Lysinger, 9 of 24 for 235 yards and 4 touchdowns. Is that 4 touchdowns?
I think he had 3.
Three passing.
I think.
Okay,
Yep.
and Darvez Stansel, of course, another big game. Darvez Stansel, 6 catches for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. The guy Lysinger really likes to hook up, and he was a big hook up there in the third quarter. I believe it was the third, in between third and fourth when Lincoln was coming back. He hooked up on about a 60-yard touchdown reception for them. And Coach, you fall to Lanphier now, and you come up to homecoming week. Always a tough week for the coaching staff. So many things going on for the students, which is, it's one of those times that the students have to prepare for. They have fun with. There's activities going on at night. A number of things to distract the guys from the ultimate goal of what that game is on Friday night. And talk about Southeast and what you got to do to keep the guys focused.
Sure. That's, as a coach, that. Anytime there's those extra things going on, one thing that we forget about sometimes as coaches, these are high school kids. Right. My life might revolve around football, but theirs does to a certain extent. But they have a lot of other things going on, sure. And homecoming week, there's a lot of things going on which they should be taking part in and enjoying that part of their life. But I also tell the kids, if you don't come out and perform on Friday night, then Saturday's not nearly as much fun, and the week kind of gets that damper put on it. So we'll prepare for Southeast this week. It's another game. I felt like coming into this week, there's a couple games in a row that we have a legitimate chance to play well and to get a victory. And I like this group of kids. I would be surprised if they don't focus and prepare hard. I believe that they will, and I think we'll get another win on Friday night.
Well, good, and that would be nice for homecoming, so hope everybody comes out. Of course, if you can't make it out, we'll have it on 96.3 with Bobby V and the coach Ken Schweitzer. But, Coach, going through the Central State 8 scores last night, one thing that hasn't happened for a long time, 59-game winning streak snapped in front of a crowd of about 7,000 fans. Rochester beats Sacred Heart Griffin. It's father versus son. The son prevails 13-10. I think Rochester is going to do all right in the Central State 8.
Sure looks like it. I don't know if I was surprised or not. I thought Griffin would win. Mm-hmm. Obviously we started out the year with Rochester, and I said, at the end of the game that that's the most Griffin-like team we've ever played for sure. They have some tremendous athletes. They're very well coached. And obviously they're coming in and beat Griffin, something that hasn't happened in conference in 8 years.
Yeah, since October 21st of 2001, I believe Griffin lost to Chatham, I believe. 2001, wow. That was almost when I was still in school. It's been that long ago, but wow, what
Cameron was in grade school.
I was in 6th grade then.
And wow, what a game that would have been fun to be at. And Glenwood, of course, over Jacksonville last night, 51-26. And Springfield High 42, newly state-ranked Springfield High 42, Taylorville 13, and Southeast. And Southeast.
They played today.
Today.
Yeah, that's where I'm headed. It's
so you're heading after
3.5 hour drive. They play.
Johnsburg. That's up in the north part of the state, I believe.
Almost Wisconsin.
Yeah, I've been there. So, Coach, have fun on that trip, and you'll have a lot of talking with, I'm sure, who's ever riding with you about the game and what you got to get ready to do for Southeast. But, of course, always, Coach, we appreciate you coming on every morning, and we'll be back. We'll sure be back Friday night for the homecoming game.
Thank you.
Some special guests here from the Railsplitter that have joined us here. We have friend of mine, I could say, Miss Darlene Bogolka. And Darlene, what exactly that you do here with the Railsplitter Festival? I know that you do a lot throughout the year to kind of help promote it, but what's one of the main actions and main goals that you try to do for the festival each year?
What we want them to remember is we're back in the 1860s. We're no longer 2010. You can bring your cell phones out, but remember that there was another way of life. You know, there wasn't washing machines, so there's a group over there that are going to show you how you can do your laundry without a washing machine. You couldn't go to the store and get a stick of butter or, you know, a bucket of butter. They're going to show you how to do that. There's all sorts of activities going on. We have the 10th Illinois Volunteer Cavalry Regiment. They're going to show you what it was back in the 1860s in their way of life. They have a lot of hands-on stations for you. So it's just it's a good weekend just to step back into time, although we do have modern-day food and we have a few crafts. We will have entertainment. One thing I want to kind of stress is at 4:30 we have Mike Anderson and Brian Fox Ellis coming to do Lincoln information, stories, and stuff. Weather permitting, at 6:30 we're going to have a balloon launch, and at 7 o'clock the Illinois Country Music Association will be with us doing about an hour-and-a-half concert. So there's lots of things to do. That's just today. Tomorrow is the national split. Come out and see these guys. They're competing for $1,000. So
yeah, that's a big purse you have going on. Of course, you can check everything out on railsplitting.com before you come on out. Check out what you want to walk around and see, and at what the times they start. Of course, the 17th was last night. The festival starts from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then evening, you said Brian Fox Ellis. And then tomorrow it starts at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with one of the big events, that national splitting contest.
That's right. And I just want to put a little plug in. Last night we had the Civil War Ball, and it was fabulous.
Good.
We had people that were dressed in the period dress. We had people come out in regular day clothes. They mixed them in. They had a wonderful time. It was great. We are working on getting a barn dance for next year on Saturday. A barn dance.
Cameron would be good at that.
I would be.
But that's next year.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
I'll practice. He'll practice up for that.
Okay.
Well, give me plenty of time to practice for that. Alrighty, well, Darlene, we thank you for being here with us, and we thank you for everything that you do with the Railsplitting Festival. And sitting to my left, Mr. Jeff Ladd, and Jeff, you're representing tourism. And what's one of the aspects that you look from the tourist side of it when you have a festival that comes into town, and also a long-running festival such as the Railsplitter that's been going on for 40 years?
Well, it is quite a milestone, isn't it? The average shelf life of most festivals is only 5 years, so you can just imagine how getting to 40 is such an incredible achievement. And tomorrow at 2:30, right before the split, we're going to honor several people. You talked earlier to Darius Knauer, one of the co-founders. The other co-founder of the event will be here. And we'll be honoring some of the former splitters, the winners that are coming back for this. So there's going to be a great ceremony at 2:30 tomorrow that'll really kind of tie all the history together. But obviously the economic impact is great. We're going to kick this weather thing in the bucket. It's going to be a great day. We're not going to get any rain the next couple days at all. So come on out. And this is really, it's a festival for people from throughout the state and throughout the country who are interested in Abe Lincoln. But it's a festival we encourage local folks to come out to, too. It's a perfect family event. We're so excited about tonight, the big country music and storytelling performances. So we're just ramped up about it, filling up hotels, people coming to town, spending money, and that's what it's all about.